welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for being here. Before we started recording, I was saying I keep seeing you on Instagram, on in the same Instagram lives, watching Mimi or Margot and kind of
Yeah.
this whole community. So I wanted to connect and learn about you. So let's start at the beginning of yoga for you. So when did you first find yoga in your life?
Okay, many years ago, like whenever I tell anybody how many years I've been practicing, I'm like, wow, kind of old. But I've been practicing about 20 years now. I found it in college. And that's when I was first introduced in college. We had to pick a course, and one day they offered yoga to all the students. I think it was like a physical fitness class or something. And it
Mhm.
was like, we're gonna have yoga today. So I was like, all right, I'll try it. So I took that class and I was like, wow, I really liked it. It was fun. It wasn't too difficult to me because normally when people hear yoga, they think, super flexible and, all these wild, crazy poses, even back then. But I took it and was hooked ever since. And been taking classes and finally got the certification. And yeah.
That's so great. So I love that because not everyone has that experience with their first class. I know for me, it took a few, like I took yoga in college, but it was a really weird experience. It was like 50 people in the room and they were
Mm.
mostly there, I think, just to get like their phys ed requirement or something. And,
Uh-huh.
it just had, so I didn't until after find a teacher that I resonated with. So that's so great for you, like that your first class,
Yeah, I
you
was
found it.
surprised because I was like, oh, this should, be easy, like you said, credit or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And it was like a 30-minute class. And I was like, okay, I'll take this class. 30 minutes is better than the hour and a half regular class. So
Right. Exactly.
I did it and I was like, I like this. And the poses came kind of easy to me. And I was like, okay, I can actually sit for a little while and, hold these
Hmm.
poses. So yeah, it
So
was.
did you continue to practice yoga from college on, or did you have any lapses
Yeah,
where
it
you
was
stopped?
yeah, it was
Or
off and on after college. It wasn't really consistent until later on, after kids and marriage and all that stuff. Then I was
mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm.
really got back into it and more consistent with it. But it was always there with me, along the way.
Yeah. And so you're a certified nurse, I saw. So
Yeah.
did that happen first before you became certified in yoga?
Yeah, I'm a registered nurse first and then got the certification in yoga.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you decide that you wanted to share yoga with families, with women, and with children?
That was with the kids, that kind of came as a surprise to me. So doing my yoga, like my boys are 7 and 10. And so I think my youngest was 4 or 5, something like that. And during my practices, he would pop in and start doing it with me. And I was kind of like, okay, you can flow with me. He would stay like maybe 2 minutes, but he
Mm-hmm.
would come in there, do a little something, and then leave out. And then I was thinking, I was like, is it a thing for kids to really do yoga? So I started looking more into it. Then I saw as more certifications for yoga, for kids yoga. And so I took the trainings for that. And one of our friends let me know, Yogi Beans, I took one of her trainings.
Oh, cool.
And
I didn't realize that.
yeah,
Okay.
so this year I took one of her trainings.
Yeah.
My original kids training was with Kid and Around Yoga.
Cool.
So I did the trainings with that, and it's like totally different from adult yoga. It's like more of like the creativity and thinking outside the box and just a lot of energy too
Yes.
compared
Yes.
to the adult yoga. But so it's a balance with the two, but I love it. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was my introduction to kids do yoga too.
Yes. So many parents have said that they didn't even realize like they were practicing yoga on their own and then their kid just joined in and they were like, can kids do yoga? And the same thing. We Google it. Oh, it's a thing,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
they show us for sure. So then tell me about your business, Be Fly Yoga. So when did you start that and what was kind of the inspiration?
Okay, so I started it last year, Before Yoga, and the inspiration was get a bigger reach with the kids yoga and the adult yoga. I feel like hate to say it, but more people take it a little more serious when you're a business. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, let me make it a business, and then maybe I can get into schools easier, or different organizations easier, to let them know, hey, I'm a legit business. You know, I know how to, teach kids yoga and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that's when I started the business. That's why I started the business, and figured I can get a larger reach like that way.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw, so you teach kids classes, but you also focus on teaching yoga for women as well.
Yes, yes.
So what made you decide to focus on women?
I feel like I can understand the female body, better since I am.
Yes.
I felt more comfortable, and I feel like I provide a space where if there's all women, then you can feel more comfortable, be yourself, kind of have your own tribe kind of thing, and um, I can understand the female body and different movement and poses that may not be comfortable for certain people because of the anatomy of the
Hmm.
female and things like that, and just that understanding. I have a closer understanding with.
Yeah. I think it's important for us as yoga teachers to find our niche, like what or where do we feel comfortable or guided towards, because even a lot of kids yoga teachers don't teach adults. Like I don't teach adults. I've tried it and I'm like, oh, it's just not my thing.
Mhm.
Some kids yoga teachers do. Some kids yoga teachers love teaching every age, and some are more like, oh, I love the younger ones, the older kids. So it's
Yeah,
kind of, I think it's really important if you're a yoga teacher to know that you can find like your little specialty, and then you could really just focus there, because
yeah,
every population needs yoga. So
yeah.
yeah.
I think what helps me, because being a registered nurse, I work in the schools, so I
Mm.
have to kind of flip flop between how I talk to a child, and then if a teacher and adult come in, I have to kind of switch it up. I can't talk the same
Right.
way, so I kind of had that practice, over the
Yeah.
years. So some people's like, how do you teach kids and then the same day teach adults the same? I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of had that flip flop over the years, so it's easy to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. You've had a lot of practice with,
Yeah.
like you said, it's like two different skill sets, but you're used to having to use both. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
great. So if you started it last year, was it during the pandemic that you started
It was,
teaching?
yes.
Okay, so is it all virtual classes, or are you doing in-person classes?
Yes, all virtual currently. I'm starting to hopefully branch off because I'm in Virginia, and we're starting to slowly open things back up
Yeah.
now. So hopefully, more like things in the park and things like that, or have a small little location to just offer little classes, or going out to the schools, because I know a lot of the schools are still kind of closed, guess you can say. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Well, hopefully I can get out there more.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a whole other thing too. It's great it's kind of nice you started in the digital world, because a lot of people is the opposite, where they were like teaching in person, we're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. How do I do this online? So you
Right.
started there, yeah, and so you can get comfortable there. Have
Yeah.
you had a favorite age group that you've been teaching in
I
terms?
do. I love the elementary, I guess because I work in elementary, but I
Yeah.
love the elementary age, that like 6 to 9, 10, that age group. I really
Mm-hmm.
like that because they love to talk, they love to share, they understand things a little bit better, so, and can express their feelings more. So yeah, I like that age group.
Yeah. Yeah. What has been, do you have like a favorite experience so far of your teaching, of a
Yes,
child
there
you've worked
was
with?
a recent one that just like melted my heart. I was like, oh my goodness. During a class, I brought out my singing bowl and was playing it for the kids just to, listen and things like that. And then one of my students ran and got her singing bowl and started playing with me. And I was just like, oh my goodness, that was the cutest thing.
Oh,
So at the end of class, we had her just play the singing bowls together. It was so cute.
that's adorable to see them, like, to slow down long enough, to do that,
Yes.
and to just like just to have that focus. That's so huge for
It
kids.
was,
Oh, I love it. See, I think I found too the best moments are the quiet ones when
yeah.
they find that stillness and you're like, oh. Yeah, it's like that's why we do it. Well, let's see. Since you've been doing this about a year, you started a year ago. What has been your greatest reward so far? Like what's your favorite part about this work?
Just seeing the benefits in people who um how can I say experience yoga for the first time, because I have a lot of beginners. They're like, wow, this is what yoga is like. Like, I don't just do, the poses, we do beyond that. And they're like, oh, so I can do yoga, I can do the poses, I can do the meditation, I can do, the mindfulness and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, you can. I was like, it's literally anybody can do it.
Yes.
And I've recently started doing chair yoga,
Hmm.
and a few people was like, wow, I didn't know you can do yoga in chairs. Like, yes, so much you can do. So just seeing people's reaction and just their gratitude for, wow, thank you for, introducing this to me.
Yeah. It's so empowering because we have these external images in social media and media of what yoga is. And it's just like such a small portion of it, when we see the fancy poses or,
Yeah.
the yoga clothes, all that stuff. It's like, you don't need any of that. You literally just have to be a person, like
Yeah.
in a body.
Mhm.
Oh, that's great. So that for the chair yoga, is that offered to all people? Is it like for older population or for
Yeah,
people
for
with physical
anybody who
limitations?
wants to,
Anybody?
yeah, anybody who wants to try it, I do it on
Yeah.
Sunday. So anybody who wants to give it a try, is donation based. So I really love to introduce yoga to people, because, like, my mom, for example, she did one yoga class with me years ago, and she was like, "That's not really my thing." And so once I became more knowledgeable about yoga and I could really teach it myself to her, then she was like, "Oh, okay, I love doing this." So she's calling me sometime. Are we having class today?
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's like I did it in a way that she could handle it, and it wasn't just like a generalized, okay, let's do this, let's do this. It was like, okay, ma, I know you can handle this, and so now she looks forward to class like a few times a week.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
It's all about meeting people where they are. That's
Mhm.
what we say about the kids all the time, like meet them where they are, but the same is for adults you're teaching, like start with what they can do and what they like to do, and then they'll start to feel like that kind of
Yeah.
that magic once you get that feeling in your body.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I love to usually round out conversations with little gems of
Okay.
wisdom. So, for you, what would be your one big piece of advice for someone sharing yoga with children?
I would say definitely give yourself grace. It's okay if you make a oops or a mistake. The kids more than likely won't notice, and have fun with it. Be very creative. Think outside the box. Um, my last class last Saturday, it was raining here. It was like pouring down raining, and I was like, oh, what class can I do? And the theme was a rainy day theme, and the kids loved it. Like, we did rainy day poses. We talked about Mother Earth providing the rain and drinking water. And I just turned it into a whole lesson plan. So just thinking outside the box, being creative, the kids will love it.
Yes, yes, follow that creativity.
Yes.
That's why I love kids yoga. Not that you can't follow creativity with adult yoga, but like yeah, with kids you can really like you
Yeah.
dive in and then they also add so much to it because they
Yeah.
all offer
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
ideas and oh that's so fun. Well, I want people to be able to find you, to find your classes. So, can you share your website and your social media?
Yes, I'm on Instagram and Facebook at BFly Yoga, and I have a website, bflyyoga.com. There is a link in my Instagram where you can go if you're looking for the kids' classes, women meditation, all the links are there on Instagram.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It was so nice to talk to you and
Yes,
connect.
yes, yes, thank you. I'm glad you invited me. I enjoyed this.
Yes. All right. We'll keep seeing each other on Instagram and, and stay in touch.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yes, have a good night.
So.